privilege or the opportunity to spend some time with you today and really share with you some of the lessons and the insights that I really think are important as you embark on your journey. That for me is what this conversation is about. And one of the big things that's important is that I think it's always important to challenge yourself and say, what is it that's driving you to really push you to get to your goals in life? I've always believed that success is about having that audacity to break barriers, irrespective of the circumstances that are around you. That for me is what success is about, because the circumstances in and around us all the time will continue to evolve. They'll continue to change. If anything, we'll continue to see that there's always this ever evolving environment, right? And the ones who succeed, really the ones that who thrive, are the ones who understand that it's about being true to who you are authentically at your essence, never failing yourself, but always challenging yourself to get to the next level. And now, if you look back, right, and you think about the context of where we are and where we come from, right, there's been a lot of uncertainty. I mean, in this moment of the world history, we're coming out of a very, very difficult period of 2 years. No one could have predicted the pandemic that we are living with now at the scale at which it affected all of us. I mean, so much uncertainty, right? So much global turmoil. We're disrupted at an individual level, at a personal level, how we work, you know, how we think about education, right? I mean, we lost people, right? And some of us are still suffering. And it didn't help that even a year after, I mean, if you look at the context of 2021, you know, the stability came, but also it was with a lot of weight that we carried from the scars and the wounding and the difficulty that we had walking into periods like that. And a lot of us were challenged to do things in different ways. I mean, you know, studying or working in a hybrid context, finding ways to entrench technology and digitization in the way that we do things, finding different ways to connect with even our friends and even our family in ways that we didn't even think were possible before. I mean, that's the world that we came out of. But at the same time, we've made it to this point. I mean, look at all of us. We've made it to this point. We stand here with challenges, but also with successes to celebrate. And where does that come from? I mean, it comes from our commitment to resilience, right? I mean, we had that audacity to be resilient and look after ourselves in a period of so much chaos, so much unpredictability, and so much uncertainty. And guess what? Ultimately, if you start looking forward to the future, one thing is for sure, the uncertainty continues, the turmoil continues. There will always be change, positive change, and also constructive change. A real successful individual is one that says, I would like to empower myself with the toolkits that I need so that I can survive and really make it to the future that is unknown. Now, there are a couple of things that are important when you're then thinking about that future and really what it is that helps you to be successful. And one of those things is really thinking about how do you bring your purpose, really the thing that gives you potential, really the thing that really guides you. Because a lot of us, we need something that drives us. We need something that gives us purpose in the morning. When you get up, what is the thing that drives you? What is that? Because ultimately, in the most difficult times in history, right, or in general, you need to be able to realize that I have a purpose. That's what helps me wake up in the morning. That's what helps me work through some of the best times, but also some of the worst times that we could possibly go through in terms of human history. So I've always been purpose directed, and I've challenged myself over the years to always be aware, what is my purpose? How do I use it to drive me? But also at the same time, how do you think about making sure that your purpose exists in what you do on a day-to-day basis? Where are you spending your time? Where are you taking your career? What is taking your day-to-day, basically? It's important to realize and challenge yourself to say, this is what I'm doing to be able to identify my purpose. And your purpose is something that you live, you embody. It's not something that someone tells you. to do, right? It's not something that someone explains to you. It's something that you experience. It's what you feel. It's the experience that other people have of you when they interact with you, when they touch base with you. Living your purpose means doing things effortlessly, right? Doing things effortlessly without even trying, without even making an effort, right? And then when you actually do that, when you actually make sure that you're not making an effort, and it's natural to you, it's who you are, that's when you know you're living your purpose. That's when you can really magnify your impact and really experience really the joy and the contentment, really understanding what it means when you're actually living in purpose. One of my favorite frameworks, right, that I use from when I'm really thinking about how do you understand and how do you understand how you can become more purpose aligned, is one of my favorite frameworks is from the Japanese, and it's called the Ikigai Framework, and it's all about identifying your purpose, right? And they actually break it up into a couple of important levers, which I'll go through right now. So some of them basically stem around, the first one is really around how do you think about what you're good at, right? What is the single thing that you're really good at as an individual, right? That's the first thing that you think about. What am I good at? Where do my talents sit? And then you look at what you're good at. How does that intersect with, you know what you love to do, right? The thing that gets you to thrive. I mean, the intersection of those things is where passion comes to life, right? What you're good at, what you love to do. And also, if you bring into the equation what the world needs, right? You start now aligning it with your mission, because there's what the world needs. In what way does it overlap with what you're good at and what you love to do? Which, by the way, you find out or you experience by trying out different things, trying out different careers, touching different things, experiencing different things, doing things that you know you struggle with, but also doing things that you know you enjoy, and some way something lights up in you. And then last but not least, what can you be paid for, right? I mean, that's when you start making the link between your vocation and your profession. Now, if you take the combination of all those things, what am I good at? What do I love to do? What does the world need from me? And also, what can I get paid for? You have this beautiful intersection in the middle that really challenges you to say, this is the impact that I'm ultimately here to achieve. And I encourage you to use that as a guide as you're thinking through life. Any moment, any experience, I mean, you have the power and the privilege to shape your journey, irrespective of where you are. Important at the start of your career, in the middle, I mean, apparently we live up to 100 now. So you could have 15 careers if you wanted to. I mean, some people reform their lives every 10 years. So we have the time. We have the opportunity to experiment, and we have ways of trying different things. But to be able to do this successfully, you need to be able to understand that leadership is at the heart and the core of all of it, right? The thing about leadership is that you need to become the leader that you believe in. No one is going to come and show up to solve things for you. I mean, every day we wake up and we lead ourselves as individuals. Some of us lead others. Some of us even lead organizations. And the journey on leadership is very, very important because it starts with self-mastery, right? And actually, when I was at Stanford, one of the things that really spoke to me is that the motto for the whole business school is, we change lives, change organizations, and thereby change the world. But it starts with that journey of self-awareness, right? And really thinking about what are the deliberate actions that you're taking on a day-to-day basis to lead yourself as an individual, so that you have that stability and that grounding to consistently have that change, survive that change in an ever-evolving environment. Only once you've mastered that can you have the power to actually lead others, be present for others, be effective for others around you, right? We lead our peers, we lead our families, we lead our colleagues, maybe even some subordinates or even people that are above us. But eventually you get to a point where you lead organizations, something that's very critical in the world, right? And as you lead organizations, it's very important to figure out, why would other people follow you, right? What is it that you have that can inspire other people to be better, to be effective, and to really unleash the best versions of themselves? That's really what is important. And thus, if you can do those tenets, right, then you'll be able to get to a point where you are ready to do what I'm passionate about, what I live for, what I spend my days and my lives doing, which is really just unleashing potential. I have a belief that we all have potential in all of us. It comes in different shapes and sizes. There is no one right box of, this is who I am, this is how I need to show up. this is how the world should experience me. No. Potential differs in different ways, in different parts, in different ways of expression. Whether it's in the creative, artistic, analytical context, we all have this within us, but some more than others, right? So when you're thinking about unleashing your potential, it's important to be aware of things as they're happening around you, right? Be willing to take the extra mile, be willing to be proactive and say, I want to do something, I want to try this. Most of the opportunities that I've had in life to help me on my journey with success is because I was proactive. I put my hand up, and I said, what happens if I try? A lot of people think, but I'm doubting myself. What do I know? I'm not blank enough. And you get in the way of your own storyline. And so for me, I just say, what happens if I try? And if I fail, that's okay, right? Because therein lies the learning and therein lies the growth experience and the opportunity. The other thing is just furious determination, right? I mean, relentless. I believe if there's a door, break it, right? Find a way to open those doors for yourself. Because if you don't do that, no one else is going to do it for you. Even if they do, they take you to step one, but how are you going to get yourself to step two? So that determination is really, really important to me. The other one is persistency, right? It's that just being persistent over and over and over and staying on course and staying on mission, because we give up too quickly, right? And if we give up, if we are the ones who give up on ourselves first, how can we even expect others to carry us along the journey? So we need that level of relentlessness and really that push to help ourselves get to the other side from that perspective. But I'm also well aware, I mean, especially coming out of the period that we've had, that ultimately on this journey of unleashing your potential as your own self-directed leader to have an impact on yourself and others, there's also the need to have self-care. You need to, part of self-awareness is understanding your boundaries. Where do you draw the line? Where are your limits as an individual? And also, I mean, we're not robots, we're human beings, right? So what do you need for your health? What do you need for your physical health? What do you need for your mental health, right? What do you need to sustain you? What gives you energy? What helps you thrive? And what are you doing to invest in those things that give you energy in life? And also, just having grace, with yourself as an individual. Have that grace. Keep that grace. I'm a fundamental believer that everyone you interact with in life, do so graciously. The world will thank you. Good luck on your journey, and thank you very much.